everybody. Welcome to Urbanise Talks. Today we have a treat for you. I say that on every episode, but it's true. Today we have a treat for you. We've got Teketso from Microsoft. She's a partner solutions manager. She's joining us to talk around all things cybersecurity. So welcome, Teketso.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and good morning to the viewers.
I think tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, perfect. So I am a partner solution sales manager at Microsoft. I've been in the IT industry for about 15 years now. So I'm a dinosaur in the industry. Had various roles in different multinational vendors in the IT industry. And until I've been at Microsoft for about 2 years now, 2.5 years.
Are you enjoying it?
It is. It's a very challenging environment, but very, very rewarding. Microsoft makes a lot of impact in the global economy, as well as making sure that we touch the lives, right? Especially in the age of AI, we're seeing so much innovation, so much technology coming out, and it's phenomenal what we can do.
And I think it's phenomenal the progress that we have as a country, has made. Tell me a little bit about why cybersecurity for you.
I think cybersecurity is a very interesting portion of my job. So it's about making sure that we're protected, right? We have lots of bad actors and bad doers. I'll call them the bad guys who are trying to get into our environments, trying to make a buck out of organizations. And it's so important that we have a way of defending ourselves from these people. And not just defending, but also proactively making sure that we secure ourselves, right? And prevent any attacks from happening.
And I think this episode is around cyber basics for everybody. So why and we'll go through now why it's important for all of us to be a little bit more intentional and conscious. And I think to practice a good cyber hygiene, because the narrative is that cybersecurity is only for certain types of businesses and big businesses. But I think it's all of our responsibility, and we'll talk around that now. Why do you think? Why do most people think that cybersecurity is someone else's, almost like problem, and it's not theirs?
So traditionally, cybersecurity has always been seen as the job of the security personnel, right? To look after it. It's an IT issue.
IT issue, yes.
And we're seeing, because of a lot of threat that's been happening across an organization, it's become everybody's responsibility to be cautious.
Yeah.
Implementing stuff such as multi-factor authentication,
Yes.
right? Yes. Before you log onto your PC, make sure you authenticate on your cell phone to make sure this is really you that's logging in. Biometric login as well. It's a safer way than using passwords. In fact, there was a study that was done where it shows that password attacks is the number one attacks happening globally.
Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has become really common for all of us.
Or my son's birthday, right? It's so easy for an attacker to get that information through stuff such as social media, AI tools that we use. Yes. They can essentially get into my banking apps because I picked my son's birthday.
Yes. What are the most common misconceptions people have about, cybersecurity, you think?
The biggest issue is that attacks only happen to big organizations.
Right.
So the people believe that if my organization is too small, why would they care about me? And studies show that 1 in every 3 SMB customer has been hit by an attack in the last year.
Yeah. Apart from the organizations, why do you think that individuals and like startups are more at risk?
It's because we don't have the capital needed, right, to protect ourselves. So we can't invest in very, very large security systems. So that's why individuals have to be extra vigilant when it comes to, protecting yourself as well, not only from a personal perspective, making sure that your passwords have got all the criteria, they're strong enough,
you've got that extra layer of password security.
100%. I'm changing it frequently, right?
Yeah.
I can't use the same apples that I used as a password when I was 16 and have it now that I'm almost 40, right? So we need to continuously evolve our passwords, change them continuously, and make sure that we're getting it's like a lion chasing a gazelle, right? They don't run in a straight line. They have to keep moving, so that the lion can't get to them. It works the same with attackers. We have to keep updating. We have to keep updating so that those threat attacks don't happen to us.
And I think you went into the next point I wanted to raise. It's what's the fundamental, action that people can take. And like you said, it's change your passwords regularly, use multi-function authentication. Also, what's the main question all of us ask when we get somewhere today? We're like, what's the Wi-Fi password? And
we trust cafes without internet.
Yeah.
And we don't know the due diligence that those cafes have put in place to protect their network and infrastructure.
And we expose ourselves and our company information. Sometimes you're working on personal banking information from the company and your own personal banking information, and you're sitting with on a public Wi-Fi system.
100%. The same cell phone you use on a public Wi-Fi system is the same one that you're gonna log into your banking information on.
Yeah.
And that's a huge risk, right? In fact, there's been a study that we read. I'm going to tell you lots about studies, is because I think it's really fascinating, right? That an attacker can get into your environment and it will take about 60 days for you to notice.
Yeah.
So they'll sit there in your environment
And just observe.
And just observe your
and you can't even pick them up.
and you just don't know what's happening.
Sure. And how many of us email our personal passwords, to our Gmail addresses from the company domain, or our pay slips, or banking, like bank statements and addresses, kids' school statements, all of those things that are not password protected.
That are not password protected. And that's why when you do something like that, right, making sure you label a document as confidential, it also adds a layer of security as well, right? Put a password to it, so whoever's receiving it, then you can then give them a password on a separate communication.
Yeah. Before we go to the products that Microsoft offer, because this is quite a large basket from end user up to enterprise level, and we'll talk about that, so the audience is aware of what is out there in terms of what they can what's available to them in terms of the products that the cybersecurity products rather that Microsoft keeps. But let's talk more about personal cyber hygiene. What basic habits should every professional, you think, follow, regardless of their role in a business, in terms of keeping their information safe, or adding an extra protective layer?
So the number one is accountability. Yeah. Cybersecurity is everybody's responsibility. Right. It is so important that we all practice and we learn basic things that we need to do to keep ourselves safe. Stay away from public networks, especially when you're operating a work laptop or work device or tablet or whatever it is. Those networks are not protected, right. Or if they do, we don't know the level of protection that they have. Yeah. So we can't now risk it, right? The second is to make sure that you're always updating your passwords, and you also then go with the IT admin updates that IT will normally send to your PCs.
Yes.
Update your PCs, make sure that when you're doing those updates, password as well. Make sure you change your password regularly, every month, every 3 months, so that we can, whoever's observing your habits. Also make sure some basic things, right? If you're working on your laptop, make sure no one's looking over your shoulder to see what it is you're doing.
Especially in those unsafe public areas.
100%, right? You're sitting at a restaurant, you don't know who's lurking on the other side. So make sure that you are vigilant with your surroundings as well.
Also, the quality, I think, of your passwords, like you mentioned, is important. Also, don't email your passwords to an email, and keep personal banking information and banking one-time pins and card pins on your email. Those sort of things. Those are the things that hackers are trained to look for, and that exposes each of us. Why do people? Sorry, you go ahead.
Another piece of technology that we don't think about is AI.
Yeah.
A lot of us are using AI tools in our environment.
Yeah.
We've got them installed on our apps, but we don't know what type of data it's exposing to a different organization. So we don't know what access that For example, if you run a small to medium enterprise and you don't have a method of looking at what type of apps are installed in my environment.
Right.
If someone is using an unauthorized AI tool, that tool could be exposing your data. We've had an incident where a lady at reception was able to, through her AI tool, get the CEO's payslip.
Yeah.
We always say AI is a very futuristic and it's what we want to use and it's going to make us better.
It's also risky.
It's also needs to be done in a responsible manner.
And ethical manner.
But we lead with security first.
Yeah.
So security is the journey, AI is the destination.
Yes. And security, I think the misconception in the public today that we chatted about earlier is that security is nice to have. And I think more and more we are seeing in today's day and age, security is a must have, not a nice to have.
Especially for SMB customers, right? SMB customers are more at risk because that is sometimes if an attack gets into an environment, it is the actual pivot point of whether an organization stays open or whether they have to close down their accounts.
And I mean, the customer's information that is compromised, etc., it doesn't only put you and the business at risk, it puts your customers, at risk as well.
And you could also be in trouble with regulators as well, right? Did you not put in the right
measures? Yeah, sure. Of course. Why do people, do you think, still ignore things like simple protections, like updates and multi-factor authentication?
We are a people who are very busy. We're too busy. I'm too busy. I've got this to do.
Super busy.
We never take the time to kind of be cognizant and present. And it's also so important to be aware, right? Taking 5 minutes to do the update is less time than trying to get an attack out of the environment.
Yeah.
So I think it's always that I'm too busy, I'll get to it. Yeah. But we never then realize that the longer you prolong it, the more risk you're putting into your environment.
So we should be a little bit more intentional.
Very intentional.
Yeah,
we have to be present.
Be present. Be cognizant of your surroundings. Change your passwords. Do the updates, and please add as many layers of security as you can. So multi-factor authentication. I know it just slipped to open the app while you have to register on the portal and put in the password, but rather 20 seconds of that can save you a lot more, headache in the long term. So
100%. And that's the basic, right? If your organization does not have multi-factor authentication implemented in it, passwords are just not good enough anymore.
So let's talk about startups, right? So I'm a startup. I'm just started my business. It's just me and the computer at the moment, and I really don't have the money, like we chatted earlier, in the funding to think about cybersecurity and extra layer of security. At what stage should a startup start to think about security?
From the very inception, right? As mentioned, sometimes you don't have the money for the tools, but there's certain basics that you can essentially do. You can make sure that you've got passwords, you can make sure everything is installed. And that's just basic. As soon as you start growing and you become a bigger organization and you even add another member, right? Then we need to start thinking about what type of tools do I need in my environment to make sure that the productivity is secure, to make sure that our CRM system is secure, to make sure whatever platform I'm using is done so in a secure manner. Also, where am I storing this data?
Yes.
Is that secure as well?
Right. We spoke about the products earlier. What are maybe the top 2 or 3 products that consumers should look and the end user should look as in terms of adding to their security layer?
So at Microsoft, we have end-to-end security. So if you look at securing the apps, securing the devices, securing cloud solutions, and there's an array of products that you can essentially pick based on where you are in your security and digital transformation journey. But recently, Microsoft has launched Defender Suite for Business Premium and Purview Suite for Business Premium. So what it does is It's a solution designed for SME customers, and it is capped as 300 users.
Okay.
So if you are an organization that has more than 300, you would then go into the enterprise
Yes,
level
into the
security. Anybody sub 300 is now able to essentially have enterprise grade level security at SME pricing.
Is there an extra layer of security for somebody that's just a one man sort of, me and my computer person?
So security is essentially embedded in everything we do from a
Okay.
Microsoft perspective as well. So when you're purchasing Microsoft solution, that it's built on fundamentals of security.
Right.
So the productivity suite as well is built on with security in mind, as well as the infrastructure layer and the apps, etc. So you essentially are purchasing tools that already have a layer of security.
Okay.
What we do is then build on that layer to make sure we're extra guarded. But Microsoft's products are built with that fundamental layer.
So I think what we're essentially saying is just like how we have security in our homes, we should also look at security in our business and in terms of our cyber hygiene and just lowering our risk profiles. So reach out to us at sales at urbanise.tech, sorry, and we will give you some more information on the products, the cybersecurity products especially, that's available to you in whichever um, layer of business that you operate in, and if you're an end user as well. I think as humans, we can be our strongest and our weakest link. Tell me, why is phishing still so prevalent in today's age?
Because it's getting smarter.
Yeah.
They really are getting smarter with the phishing attacks. I think about just a normal average lady sitting in an office and they get an email that your Uncle John in the UK has left you 50,000 pounds, right? And you're sitting there, you really need $2.
Yes.
It's easy for you to like, I want to see who this uncle is, right? And then you open that email and you essentially then expose that device to whatever attack it was. Something simple as my email address is dot something.
Yes.
So what they do is they move the dot.
Yes.
All right. To digezo.molefe.
Yes.
At whatever it is .com.
Yeah.
And you get an email. Tash gets an email from me. It's like, oh, there's Digezo. You click on it.
Yeah.
Not realizing that no, this is not your email address. The dot has actually moved. So phishing is still the easiest way to get into an organization.
And I think as a society, I call us the microwave society, because everything for us must be very quick. And we are running around and chasing our tails. But I think to what you said earlier is so important. We need to become a lot more present, and we need to also breathe and slow down.
Yeah.
If you don't have an uncle, you won't suddenly materialize today. And I think that if we just apply a little bit more just interest in what we're doing, it will just help us a long way. I got a message, I think it was 2 days ago, funny enough, and it said I had a speed fine. I don't like speed fines, if you know. So I was like, let me pay this speed fine. Then I realized it was from an incorrect address. But my first reaction was, let me click on the link to pay the speed fine. So it's good when you get change of addresses. I know for business, we always have this where we get your bank account details have changed, or your you get an email from somebody that you don't know to say the kid's bank account needs to be changed for salary. Go to the person, have a word with them, go and check if that email is from them. Just try to be a little bit more careful, because a lot of times it happens where you've been scammed, that you change somebody's banking details without consulting them and you think the request comes from the actual sender, and it doesn't, like you just said with the email addresses. So it's really important. Tell me, what role does culture play in preventing security incidents?
I think South African culture has always been people first, right? And we're seeing that with technology changes and transformations, that we're becoming less people first and more technology first.
Right.
So I think getting back to those roots, pick up the phone, call the person, verify information. I'd rather spend some time just double checking,
Yes.
than making the wrong decision.
Oh,
And frustrating.
I think it's good to say just pause a little bit. Pause. Yeah. You were going to say.
I was going to say, so I received a very popular social media communication tool that we all use. I think we all know which one I'm talking about. And a message from my mother saying,
Yeah.
"Hi, Getso, please can you send me 1,000
Yes.
rand?" And I thought, she's never called me to get
Yeah.
in trouble.
Yeah.
My
She calls you
mother,
by full name.
what does she call me by my full name? It makes no sense,
Yeah.
right? And it's just certain little things like that. And intuition really saying, this can't be my mom. She would never call me by my full government name. This is a red flag. When you call, you find out that actually it was what was hacked.
Yeah.
And you send money to the
Yes. And I think it's so important, like we said, if it feels wrong and you get your intuition tells you that something is not kosher, then it probably not is not.
Yeah.
So you have to pay attention to it as well, because we will get that. I remember when I got the before I clicked on the link, I thought to myself, I would not have had a speed fine on this day. I know we all think we're super good drivers, but I really believe I couldn't have. But I clicked on the link, and it looked a bit different as well. So if it looks a bit different and it smells a bit different, it probably is different. So tell me, in terms of one cyber habit most people should stop today.
Asking for free network,
Wi-Fi password.
Wi-Fi passwords.
Okay.
Stop using, rather just buy the data yourself.
Yeah. One security practice that gives the best investment, you think? Long term?
Change your passwords, and do your security updates.
And I think as we close, tell us a little bit about the one myth about cybersecurity.
I think I mentioned it a bit earlier that it's an IT issue.
Yeah.
Cybersecurity is everybody's responsibility, because it can affect anybody at this point. And to think once you've kind of prevented an attack, it won't happen again. These people are getting relentless.
Yeah.
It's happening over and over again. We always have to be vigilant.
So I think with that, we're going to end off. Thanks so much for joining us. Please like and share and subscribe and contact us on sales at Urbanise.tech. The kids, I want to thank you again for
Thank you for having
sitting
me.
with us and for your insight. And I hope it's been of help to somebody. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, everyone.